O ginagawa nila sa Nueva Ecija, Iloilo, open sa Agusan, mga palayan ay kino-convert. So sabi ko nga, at saka siya yung promotor ng rice tarification law, yung nagpagbagsak ng presyo ng palay ng mga farmer at nagpataas ng presyo ng bigas.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Sige, pumunta na tayo dyan. Doon sa, ano yung position nyo dyan sa rice tarification bill na yan? Law na yan.
Michael, ito yung dahilan kung bakit ako nag-resign sa department. I was actually telling the president, and I was able to convince him sa Talavera, Nueva Ecija kami. I was able to convince him to make a policy statement na walang importation kapag panahon ng tag-ulan. Kasi ganitong reality. Ang ating rice sufficiency at the time when I was Secretary of Agriculture, umabot na ng 95%. Ibig sabihin 5% na lang ang ating port.
Wow!
But you have to remember na yung NFA, which was importing the rice, will have to bring in the imported rice during the lean months. Ang lean months actually mag-umpisa lang. So ang gusto nilang mangyari, i-open yung merkado ng Pilipinas imported rice. Kasi ito yung tingin ng mga globalists at saka mga neo-colonial economists. Yung sabi nila, global market. Ako naman, ang aking kasing punto, we have to protect our local producers.
Sek? Nawala yata si Sek? Nawala?
Ako din kayo. Kayo ako din. Pag nawala ako, join na lang ako ha. Ayan.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, balik po kayo sa lean season na kailangan natin mag-import.
Okay. So every year dapat mag-i-import si NFA para makabenta ng bigas na 27 peso during the lean months and of course to stabilize the price.
Yeah.
Ang ginawa ng mga economic managers kasi they really wanted to pass the rice tariff law. Kasi yun ang hinihingi ng Asian Development Bank at saka World Bank. Gusto nilang buksan yung merkado ng Pilipinas.
Okay.
Ang aking posisyon was, okay lang naman mag-import tayo pero i-program natin importation. In fact, yung original version ng RTL na yan was a graduated tariff schedule. Ang ibig sabihin, kung tataasan yung tariff up to 180% para hindi makapasok yung imported rice. Kung hindi lean months, babaan up to even zero tariff para makapasok yung imported rice.
Okay.
Yun yung original.
That's good.
Ang ginawa nila, binuksan nila ng tuluyan yung merkado and they privatized. Wala nang supervision yung gobyerno, wala nang control si NFA over the... And I warned them, sabi ko, the moment you do that, the rice cartel will take over. Which was what happened.
That's why you
But
resigned?
they were able to tell them na kapag pinirmahan daw yung rice tarification law, ay ma-stabilize yung supply ng bigas sa palengke at bababa ng 7 pesos. Sabi ko, that's impossible. Kasi ano ang mechanism ninyo to ensure na pagbaha ng bigas na imported, mapapababa nyo ng 7 pesos na wala ng supervision nyo. So, yun ang pinagmula ng away namin si Secretary Dominguez.
Yeah.
Kasi sila yung opponent, unimpeded. The word was unimpeded import. Yung akin was program. Ibig sabihin, dandahanin natin. Kasi the moment na binaha mo ng bigas na imported yung palengke, you will dampen the planting intentions of the local farmers.
Yep, that's true.
Okay? And that will reduce the productivity of our farmers.
Yes.
And in the long run, sabi ko,
It might kill the farmers.
Sila na magdidikta ng presyo ng palay ng farmer. Sila magdidikta ng presyo ng bigas sa palengke.
Yeah.
But they did not believe. Okay. So, nag-away kami ni Dominguez sa harapan mismo ni Presidente sa cabinet meeting because sinuway ko nga yung gusto niya. Siya yung parang
So finance siya, di ba?
Finance secretary, but he wanted to check that he was the primus inter pares among the cabinet secretaries. Noong sinagot-sagot ko siya, nagalit sa akin, he undermined me kay Presidente. And pinagsabihan ako ni Bongo, sabi niya, Sec, kausapin mo yung sabi ni boss, siyempre PRRD, kausapin mo yung mga economic managers kasi they're not happy with you. So kinausap ko si Ernie Pernia, then NIDA Secretary General. Sabi ko, anong problema niyo sa akin? Sabi niya, hindi ka kasi team player sinasalungan kung gusto namin mangyari. And then I had to remind him, sabi ko, hey look Ernie, do you know what my position is? I'm Secretary of Agriculture. I represent the farmers.
Exactly.
I should stand in the position of the farmers. Now at the end of the day, if the President says, ito yung gusto ko mangyari, I will have to yield. But for as long as the President doesn't say that, I have to stand up and speak out on behalf of the people who have been...
Yeah, you have to fight for it.
Okay? Noong hindi ko napigilan yung RTL, That was when I decided to submit my courtesy resignation because I made a commitment to the farmers before I assumed office as Secretary of Agriculture. Sabi ko, when the time comes when I could no longer protect you, I will resign. And that time came when I was not able to prevent the passage of the Arctic.
Wow. Okay, so that is the reason sa resignation mo. Meron ba sec yan na like publication kung ano yung reason ng pag-alis o ngayon lang, as in ngayon lang na broadcast or alam naman?
Open.
No, alam nila. Kasi nag-aaway nga kami ni Dominguez. I didn't want to burden the president. Kasi kinukulit niyang presidente. Tanggalin mo na si Piñol. Hindi templier yan. Ano yung sinasabi niya? Ako naman, Michael.
Na-interview ka po ba niyan? Na-interview kaya siya niyan before?
Marjorie, batang probinsya ako. Kaming mga probinsyano, hindi kami kapit-tuko eh.
Yeah.
Pag tingin ko na hindi ako pinapaniwalaan, bakit ako?
Ba't pa ako nandyan? Yeah.
Hindi siya magiging effective kasi hindi niya magawa yung tamang dapat gawin.
Hindi lang yun kasi it implies na wala na yung trust and confidence sa'yo. Then why continue then?
Actually, yun ang feeling ko. So when I submitted my resignation, I saw in the face of the president that he was pained that I submitted my resignation. Pero alam mo si Digong, paano yun eh, mataas ang pride nun eh. Kapag nagsabit ka ng resignation, courtesy or otherwise, he would accept it. Pero ang ginawa niya, pinatawagan niya ako kay Bongo. Sabi ni Bong, sir, lipat ka lang daw sa Mindanao Development Authority. Maliit na agency sa Mindanao. And I knew it was his way of telling me, hey, you're still my friend, no?
Yeah.
Just stay there. In fact, when he was interviewed, right after I submitted my resignation, may isang reporter nagtanong sa kanya. Sabi niya, sir, Secretary Piñol resigned. Are there issues of corruption? Sabi niya, no, he's not corrupt. He's only talkative.
I like that.
Maingay daw kasi ako. May video yun. May video clip yun.
I like that. Kasi nga ini-air niya yung mga opinion niya at saka nilalaban niya sa farmers eh. So, is talkative nga naman. Tama nga naman.
Tsaka, di ba kayo ang ganda-ganda nung setup natin, yung kakwentuhan natin, talagang siya yung nasa loob ng sa government. So, yung experiences niya talaga, yung mga kausap niya, may Senator Bongo, talagang maganda yung naging
Okay, Sek, I have a question. Okay, I have a question tungkol sa agriculture, sa bigas na yan. So, ang pagkakaintindi ko sa sinabi nyo is, kaya kayo nag-resign kasi ang nangyari is, yung proposal nila sa tarification is sa inyo kasi parang seasonal eh. Kung kailan yung lean, kung kailan yung ani, kailangan itaas yung tariff, di ba? Parang ganoon yung sa inyo eh. Okay, so ang naging issue nyo doon is nung pinrivatize na wala nang kapangyarihan yung NFA, ngayon, ang naging issue nyo doon is how would you secure yung price ma-establish yung price kung wala na kayong hawak, wala na kayong kapangyarihan dun sa rice mismo.
Regulatory and supervisory powers.
Yeah, kasi nasa private side na, right?
Yeah.
Kung nasa private side na, ngayon, they can actually hoard it, they can actually, kung ano man yung pwede lang gawin, right? So, ngayon, ito ba, may kinalaman to kasi, di ba, recently, may ginawa nila is, binaba nila yung tariff with the hope na bahain yung market para bumaba yung price. But that did not happen. So,
of course.
Connected dun sa sinasabi nyo kanina tungkol sa privatization, right?
Yeah, correct. Kontrolado ng cartel yung rice industry.